Alright, question 8 says to identify whether the given sequence is linear, quadratic, or exponential, then write an expression for the general term of the sequence. Okay, so this is actually really similar to question 3 on the worksheet that we've already looked at. The one key thing to be aware of here is that when they use this word sequence, okay, then this always starts with x equal to 1. So what exactly do I mean by that? If I look at, say, this top example, part A, okay, I'm thinking of these numbers in my sequence as the y values. Just think about this table here, and my x and then my y's. And since I'm saying when you use the word sequence, you're thinking about starting with x equal to 1, you're thinking x is 1, y is 4, x is 2, y is 16, x is 3, 36, so on and so forth. So that is the one thing to be aware of when building equations for these sequences. So let's go ahead and do that here. So, well, I can see that y is not going up by a constant amount, so it's not linear. And also the successive ratios, like 16 to 4 is 4, but 36 to 16 is not 4. So there's not a multiplier that takes me from one output to the next. So it's not exponential. So that suggests then that it's quadratic. So if I look at these first differences, I'm going to get 4 to 16, and that's a difference of 12. And then 16 to 36, that's a difference of 20. And then 36 to 64, that's a difference of 28. And so now if I look at the second difference, so 12 to 20 is 8, and 20 to 28 is also 8. Since I have this constant second difference, this is quadratic. And so remember, this is going to be of the form y equals some number a times x squared, where a is half of this second difference. So we're going to have y is equal to half of 8, so that's going to be 4x squared. All right. And we can check easily by just plugging in, say, 1 for x. That'd be 4 times 1 squared. Well, that's 4. 4 times 2 squared, that'd be 4 times 4 is 16. Yep. Then 4 times 3 squared would be 4 times 9 is 36. And then lastly, 4 times 4 squared, that'd be 4 times 16, and that's 64. So it works. All right, now B, I can see that I'm just subtracting 2 here from output to output. And again, we want to remember here, since it's being treated as a sequence, this is x equals 1, x equals 2, 3, 4. So we have a linear sequence here. And then to build the equation, this is going to be y is equal to, well, the output is just decreasing by 2 for every unit step in x. So my slope would be minus 2x. And then it's tempting to maybe want to say 7 for the y-intercept. Remember, since it's a sequence, 7 corresponds to when x is 1. So how would I get the y value when x was 0? Well, just add 2. So in other words, I'd be at 9. And again, you can easily check that these values are working by plugging in some different values for x. All right, and then the very last one here, C, we're looking at the sequence with some pretty messy numbers. Now, if you look at successive ratios here, so 0.0405 divided by 0.09, you wind up getting 0.45. And now if you look at the ratio of these next two, these numbers are long, so this will be the last one I write. So if you do this third number divided by the second number, it also comes out to be 0.45. And the same is true for this, this last pair. So in other words, here we have a constant multiplier of 0.45. Okay, so thinking about this now as a sequence, so it starts off when x is 1, we get 0.09. When x is 2, you get 0.0405, so on and so forth. So we can write down now what we know. We know this thing is exponential. We know the multiplier, the base, is 0.45. So you can say it's y is equal to, and I'll leave a little space here, that multiplier is 0.45. And this can be raised to the x power. So then the question is, well, what would be the initial value, the a value? Well, that's when x is 0, not 1. So how do I go backwards, right? Well, so if I'm going to multiply as I move forward, that means going backwards, I want to divide. So in other words, to go backwards here, when x is 0, to find y, I'm going to divide by 0.45. And if you do that, actually I have not done that, so it's what is 0.09 divided by 0.45? It's 0.2. So there we go. And so that would be our initial value, and that's gonna do it for this question. All right, thank you.